Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video will be seen and shared. Celine Driver once again, bringing you another in my continuing series of State of the Collection 2023. We've done my Zelos watches, we've done my Tudor watches, we've done my Omega watches. And now we're going to continue with a 2-video subset of my Breitlings. This one will cover chronographs, and the second video will cover not chronographs. Simple as that. I just had to figure out a way to split them up, so I split them up by chronograph and not chronograph. I love Breitling. I have been a Breitling fan for many years, although it did take a while for me to finally get a hold of my first Breitling. And I've since acquired too many Breitlings. Is there really such a thing? Probably. The watches you see here and in the next video all have had individual videos done where I do a deep dive into the details of the watch, movements, sizes, materials, etc., etc. So if you see a watch you like here, you can search for the companion long-form video of that particular watch or watches or all of them, and watch those videos as well to get more detail and better looks at each watch individually. So, having said all that, starting over here, we have a Breitling chronograph, chronometer, that was created as a tribute to the Curtiss World War II fighter aircraft. This is one of the few watches I own that is green. I think I own 3 green watches out of my entire collection. It's not that I hate green. One of my favorite cars I ever owned was green. Just that I haven't really purchased a lot of green watches. I prefer blue or black. So that's where most of my collection has gone. This is a chronograph, and like most Breitlings, is a certified chronometer, which means they are adjusted at the factory in at least 5 different positions to be within, I believe it's +5 -2, or is it +2 -5 seconds per day. Like all the Breitlings I have, the watch is very, very accurate. It has a running seconds hand here at the 9 o'clock. Has a chronograph hour at the 6 o'clock, chronograph minute at the 12 o'clock. You have the old Breitling logo and a day and date complication at the 3 o'clock. It's beautifully finished. Like I haven't got a Breitling that isn't beautifully finished. I like the fact that this one is a little bit satiny on its flanks, a little bit of polish along the top of the lugs, polished bezel. The bezel is bidirectional. It is a 12-hour bezel. It does not have detents in the bezel rotation, but the bezel is stiff enough that when you move it to a place, it's going to stay there, and you have to deliberately move it away from where you left it. So even though this watch is not a true GMT, you can use it to track a second time zone if you wish. Now I have here a Chronomat, also a certified chronometer. Also has the chronograph 12-hour here, chronograph minute here, running seconds here. This one obviously has a fixed bezel, and it's got a ton of bling bling in it. which is frankly the reason I bought the watch in the first place. I really like the bling of the watch. It's not something I have a lot of in my collection. Diamond bezels are not really something I have a lot of. There is a running argument online of whether this diamond bezel is a factory option or something that a user can stick on there. I don't care. I'm not the original owner, so I don't care, if it came original or if it came later. It was pointed out to me that this is not the bracelet the watch was born with, but this is the bracelet the watch came with, and it is a Breitling bracelet. It looks great. It fits beautifully. And I'm very happy with it. And I do wear this watch often. It's beautifully finished. I don't know if the original owner or how many owners there were before me, but whoever owned it or however many owned it before me, it looks like it was never worn. I mean, there's not a scratch on the bloody thing. I have another chronograph. This is a world timer. It is a chronograph also, but it is also a unitimer, they call it. It has, as you can see, cities all along the outer track. Now, the idea here is if you pop the crown out to its first position, right now I'm set on Eastern time, which is where I live. I live in the Eastern time zone. But let's say I travel to, let's pick Honolulu, which is over here. Now, normally I'd have to figure out, okay, how many hours difference between where I am in Florida and Honolulu. I think it's 5 hours, but I'm not sure. But if I turn the track dial to Honolulu, which is right there at the top, the watch does the math for me, and where it was a little after 12 my time, it is now a little after 7 my time. 5-hour difference. If I'm going to Anchorage, it's 4-hour difference. Los Angeles, although I cannot see any reason why I would travel to the People's Republic of California, it's a 3-hour difference. Denver to New York, there I am, back in my time zone. And if for some reason I travel to Europe, let's see. I wish my eyes were better. I could see Paris. There's Paris. There, I recognize that city. If I travel to Paris, the watch automatically calculates that the time is 6 hours ahead. It's also nighttime in Paris, or evening, because I have the blue half of that dial, that inner dial that moves, is night, and the white is daytime. And I turn it back to New York, and I'm right back to where I started from. You also have the running seconds at the 9 o'clock, chronograph hours at the 6 o'clock, chronograph minutes at 3 o'clock, and a date complication, which you can drive. You drive the hour hand, or you drive the outer track and drive the hour hand. You can drive the date back and forth. So really a very handy watch to take with you when you are traveling. I also have here another chronograph. This is a Bentley Mark VI. I saw this watch on a video. Those of you who subscribe to the Watchbox Reviews channel on YouTube know that Tim Masso usually does 3 or 4 or even 5 videos every morning to show off different watches. They're like 6 minute videos. And he did a video on this one. I absolutely fell in love with it. The bezel, in particular, I love the way the bezel looks. The bezel is platinum, by the way. The rest of the watch is very highly polished stainless steel. I absolutely fell in love with the watch, and I worked with a guy who's assigned to, I guess, my territory, or I'm assigned to his territory at Watchbox, and we worked out a trade that was mutually beneficial. I got the watch, he got a watch in return that was just as good, and everybody walked away happy. Got a moon phase here, combination of month and chronograph minute. You have day of the week, I think it's day of the week, yeah, day of the week, and chronograph hours, and up at the top you have date and running seconds. This watch is also a perpetual, meaning that you don't have to adjust it. I think it's, actually, I'm not sure if it's a perpetual or a 1461 style perpetual, which means during a leap year, you have to manually adjust the watch for February 29th to March 1st. So since I'm shooting this in 2023, I have to wait another 13 months to find that out. But beautiful watch. It did come with a strap on it that I really wasn't terribly fond of, so I put it on this collar kind of suede feel leather strap, which suits me much better. Now I come to my favorite watch watch model, if you will, the Navitimers. I am a big fan of Navitimers. In fact, looking right here, 3 of the 4 Navitimers that I'm going to show you were Grail watches at one time. And even the one that isn't technically a Grail, this one here, the collection of the, and I'll get to that in a minute, but the collection of the 3 watches that make up that special edition are a Grail to accumulate all 3. So I guess you could say it's a Grail watch. This one I recently acquired. This is the Navitimer 1461/52. It is a unique 1 year only 1,000 pieces made Navitimer, which in addition to having the usual chronograph functions it tracks, among other things, day of the week here, month, date, and number of weeks per year. So this is a very unique subdial. Usually these 1461s are like this one with a moon phase. But instead of a moon phase, this one tracks weeks of the year, which is very unique and interesting to me. So, I have been eyeballing this watch for quite a while. I managed to find one in excellent condition. The only problem with the watch was the leather strap was deteriorating rather severely, and I replaced it with a more modern Breitling strap. It is a signed Breitling strap. It's a little more modern than the one it came with, which was a 22 millimeter that tapered to 18. This one tapers to 20. Over here, I have a Breitling Navitimer that is a tribute to Swiss Air. The coloring of the watch, the black with the red and the white subdials, are the colors of Swiss Air, which is the official airline of Switzerland. Or at least it was. I'm not sure if it still is. This is one of 3 airline tribute watches. They also did a reverse of this, if you will, with black subdials and mostly white where you see black, for TWA. And they did another one in blue and red for Pan American. Now, of course, TWA and Pan Am don't exist anymore. I'm not even really sure if Swiss Air still does, but they're nice tribute watches, and I do plan on picking up a TWA and a Pan Am. I don't know when. It could be months, it could be a year or two, but I am going to pick one of those each up. Otherwise, it's a very standard Breitling Navitimer. You have the running seconds at the 9 o'clock. You have chronograph hours at the 6 o'clock, chronograph minutes at 3, and a date complication. I did pair this with an aftermarket third-party mesh bracelet. Honestly, I don't remember what this thing came on originally. I think it was a black leather strap, very similar to this one. But I'd have to dig it up, and I really don't feel like doing that right now. This one was a long time search for this particular one. This is the Navitimer Cosmonaut. This was a watch designed based on specification from one of our early astronauts, John Carpenter. I think it was John Carpenter or Scott Carpenter. I know I have the last name right. Anyway, he wanted a watch that was not NASA issue at the time, that tracked 24 hours in space. Because in space, of course, you don't know whether it's day or night. So your watch becomes somewhat irrelevant unless it has a way of tracking AM versus PM. But in this case, because almost all watches, conventional watches, go twice around the dial. This watch goes once around the dial. 24, it's in military time. So 24 is 12 midnight. And it's like 1, 2, 4, 6, 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. is down here where 6 p.m. or where the 6 would normally be. Then you have 11, you have 1,300 hours, 1,400 hours, 1,500, 1,600 hours, and so on. So this watch will help with tracking time no matter where you are, day or night. Let's say you're above the Arctic Circle and it's in that setting where it's always nighttime. Even when it's noon, it's pitch black. But if you got this watch set properly and it's running, you'll know that it's 12 noon and not 12 a.m. because the hour hand will be pointing down here, not up there. This is a manual wind. This watch is circa 1995. You do have to keep up with it. If you're going to leave it running, you do have to definitely keep up with it because it is a manual wind. And finally, it come to this watch is literally the most favorite watch in my entire collection across any brand, across any micro brand, anything. This watch is my favorite. This is the Breitling. This is the prototypical Navitimer. This is when people think Navitimer, this is the style that comes to mind. But this one is a Breitling Navitimer Twin 60. It's a 1 year only watch. You have chronograph. You have a 24-hour dial here. You have running seconds here. And down here, because you have a 24-hour dial at the 3 o'clock instead of a chronograph hour dial, the dial down here does double duty as being both chronograph hours and chronograph minutes. If you look carefully, you can see the overlapping hands right there. And this, of course, is your constant seconds right here. No date complication, which is fine. You have, like standard on all Navitimers, you have the pilot slide rule, which in this case is extremely stiff because I haven't used it very much. But that's okay. To do with, calculations, mostly multiplication and division. I don't know how to do work a slide rule and probably never going to learn. And again, beautifully done. Navitimer with beautiful polish. I'm not really sure what that little nub there is on the side. It's not a pusher, I know that much, but I don't know what that is. And I have paired it with a mesh bracelet, very similar to this mesh bracelet. It's a third-party mesh bracelet. It's not a Navitimer one, a Breitling one. This originally came on a leather strap, which works well, but I like mesh bracelets. So that's part one of my Breitling State of the Collection. You will see part two the following week. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it to be entertaining, useful, informative. If you did, click that thumbs up button for me. That does help with the YouTube search algorithm and brings people to the channel, and that ain't a bad thing. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, if you are going to troll me or insult me, or you're going to try anyway, or you're going to leave links to bad places on the internet, I will simply delete the comment and block the commenter. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll take the opportunity to watch many other videos that I have. I have hundreds. All I ask is that you click that red subscribe button on the bottom of the view window and help me grow the channel. If you're not new to the channel, but you haven't clicked the red subscribe button yet, please click the red subscribe button. Help me grow my channel. Don't forget to click the bell icon too, so that when I upload new videos or I go and do a live stream, you will be alerted. And as I say at the end of all my videos, it is a crazy old world out there. It is not getting any less crazy, so please be careful out there, my friends. Stay safe, stay well. I'll see you soon.